this morning. Who's enjoying Accra so far? Yeah, you haven't been in rush hour traffic just yet, so keep that in mind. But again, good to see you. A good morning and a very warm welcome to Accra, and welcome to the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum 2024 under the theme Fostering Rights and Inclusion in the Digital Age. We gather here today to continue the vital conversations initiated by the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum. Now, since 2013, DRIF has served as a beacon for global dialogue on digital rights and inclusion. As a flagship platform of Paradigm Initiative, DRIF brings together diverse stakeholders to shape digital policy in Africa and beyond. And today, with reps from government, civil society, academia, and the private sector, DRIF is more than just a conference, it's a catalyst for action and for partnership. So, without further ado, we'll get stuck straight into the opening ceremony. I hope you're all excited to go on this knowledge-sharing expedition this morning. We'll welcome up on stage Dr. Ida Opoku-Mensah. She's currently the founder and MD of Centric Digital Limited, a private company based in Ghana, which is providing innovative, practical, and value-centric services and applications to promote the digital economy of the country. She's also Paradigm Initiative Vice Board Chairperson. So please, a warm welcome for Dr. Opoku-Mensah this morning.
Thank you very much, Madam MC, and a very good morning to all of you. It's good to see you, and it's heartwarming to see the amount of interest that there is in DRIF 24. So, without further ado, let me start. I am charged with the task this morning to welcome you and give the welcoming remarks. So, the representative from the Ghana government, in the person of Dr. Albert Boesiaku, the event's speakers and sponsors, country partners, the partners of Paradigm Initiative, representatives from civil society, academia, non-governmental organizations, government agencies, and media, the private sector, the delegates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. As the board vice chair, it is with great pleasure and honor that on behalf of Paradigm Initiative, I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you gathered here today for the 2024 edition of the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum, DRIF 24. This event is hosted in collaboration with the Ghana government, partner organizations, which are hosting the event with PIN, the E-Governance and Internet Governance Foundation for Africa, University of Media Arts and Communication, Institute of Journalism, Media Foundation for West Africa, the Inclusive Tech Group, the Internet Society of Ghana, and the Human Security Research Council. I must say we are honored to host such distinguished individuals in our bustling city of Accra. Traffic, rush hour traffic and all. As we unveil the 11th edition of DRIF this morning, we are excited to set off on this 3-day journey, which will provide an opportunity to hold discussions, participate in launches and networking opportunities, among other things. It is also worth noting that the forum provides a rich selection of 80 sessions for the delegates to choose from under the following theme: fostering rights and inclusion in the digital age. And this is a very important topic of the day. Notably, sessions at this year's edition will focus on the following sub-themes: trust and accountability, data protection, privacy and surveillance, artificial intelligence, and emerging technologies, digital inclusion, and marginalized groups, all very critical areas in the ever-changing dynamic technology world. The DRIF 24 further allows us to deepen our collaboration and knowledge sharing. We hope that the insights gained and the connections forged during this forum will inspire tangible action and positive change in the pursuit of a more equitable and just digital future. At the end of the 3 days, we hope we would all have gained a deeper understanding of the challenges, opportunities, and threats in the digital landscape, as well as a renewed commitment to advancing digital rights and inclusion for all. The forum's agenda, I might add, is also spot on, reflecting the array of challenges and opportunities that accompany the digital revolution. Indeed, each session promises to deepen our understanding and inspire meaningful action. I am particularly excited about the diverse launches aimed at showcasing a range of reports, toolkits, initiatives, and platforms from various organizations. Among these, we have PIN's Reporti, a platform empowering individuals to report digital rights violations. Additionally, IETA, a digital security platform, will provide crucial support to human rights defenders, journalists, and activists. PIN's annual report, LONDA, will offer indispensable insights into digital rights and inclusion across 26 African countries, serving as a guiding roadmap for policymakers and governments, civil society organizations, academia, and other relevant stakeholders. Further, we eagerly anticipate the premiere of PIN's 4th short film, Undersight, which highlights the transformative power of storytelling in driving social change. Through engaging narratives, PIN has the opportunity to initiate conversations that catalyze advocacy efforts. With such diverse offerings, this year's DRIF, I'm sure you agree, promises an engaging and enriching experience for all participants. I would not want to take much of your time, as I know many of you are eager to get into the business of the day. However, I would like to challenge all of us to remain steadfast in our commitment to advancing digital rights and inclusion, whilst embracing diversity of thought and perspective, and recognizing that our collective strength lies in our unity. With those few remarks, allow me to extend my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you once again. Your unwavering dedication and support in making this forum a reality will not go unrecognized. Thank you for traveling across the world from 61 countries to participate in this important forum. I am optimistic that we will all make the most of this opportunity to harness the transformative power of technology for the greater good of the current and future generations. Besides participating at DRIF, where you will mingle with delegates from various countries, network, exchange ideas, feel free to spend some time sampling the rich culture and hospitality that Ghana is well known for. This is indeed an opportunity to create lasting memories that will reflect the true spirit of collaboration and unity that defines this forum. I extend my warm wishes to you all for a refreshing, enriching, and unforgettable 3 days in Accra. Thank you all for this and for your attention. No welcoming remarks is complete in Ghana without me saying, in the spirit of welcoming, Akwaba, the warm Ghanaian greeting that means welcome in our local Akan language. I thank you for your attention.
can do a little bit better than that. Another round of applause, please. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Ida Opoku Mensah. I believe we have some French speakers in the house. Any French speakers here this morning? Bonjour. Je parle français, mais c'est très mauvais. I've been practicing that all night. That's all. That's all I've got. Nothing beyond bonjour. But please, if you keep your hands up, we'll have some headsets given to you so you can follow along in the conversation. Okay. Bonjour. 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 Ça va? Moving on. And moving on swiftly, indeed, we do have some more remarks coming your way. Please, let's welcome up onto the stage Dr. Enchi Bosiako. He is the first Director General of the Cyber Security Authority, CSA, an agency responsible for Ghana's cybersecurity regulations and development. Prior to his appointment on October 1, 2021, he served as the National Cybersecurity Advisor and head of the then Cyber Security Center from July 2017 to September 2021, leading the institutionalization, haven't had my tea this morning, pardon me, from Ghana's cybersecurity development, which progressed from 32.6% in 2017 to 86.69% in 2020. According to the ITU's Global Cybersecurity Index, GCI, with Ghana ranked 3rd in Africa and 43rd globally. How impressive. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Enchi Bosiako.
Dr. Ida Opoku Mensah, the former Special Advisor to the Executive Secretary on Special Initiatives and the SDGs, who has wonderfully welcomed us for those events. Honorable Garisha, the Commissioner for the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, Special Chair on Freedom of Expression and Access to Information, welcome. I'll use the word, the protocol established by Dr. Ida Akwaba to Ghana. A very good friend of mine and a pioneer of the civil society space, Mr. Benga Sasan. It's close to a decade now since I met this gentleman on the stage. I was impressed as an African by his brilliance and passion to promote digital rights all over the world. Please, let's give a special applause to this African young man who has really made an impact. He's done extremely well, right? Very. That's just about 7, 8 years ago when I met him. And I think you've grown this coalition strongly. I want to commend you and stay on and continue to drive this digital inclusion. But also Vinay Nayaram, Senior Manager of APTI, a number of civil society activists, digital rights advocates gathered here. Most of you have supported Ghana's cybersecurity digital inclusion development by the advocacy, by the input you've made into our work. Members of the board of Paradigm Initiatives, representatives who have gathered here, media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Minister for Communications and Digitalization, the Honorable Eslaus Wekufo, who has been leading Ghana's digital inclusion and cybersecurity for the past 7 years, I'm humbled and delighted to stand before you today at this remarkable forum. I welcome you all to Ghana and hope you make time during your stay to explore the beautiful culture. Again, Dr. Ida has already recommended that you create some memory before you leave. To my special friends from Nigeria, most of you have been coming here for a number of times. You need to try the Ghanaian jollof once more. so that when you go back, you can reassess whether really you are on top of the jollof competition or not. I will be very willing, my team members are here, to recommend other jollof joints so that you can have different samples to better appreciate why Ghana jollof reigns. But I think it's important to welcome all of you, wherever you travel from, to join us. We're quite excited to have such diverse participation in our program. But before we delve into the discussion and insight that await us on the theme fostering right and inclusion in a digital age, I would like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the dedicated team of event organizers who have worked tirelessly to bring us together. Ghana last year, November, hosted the GC3B event. We've done a number of hostings and we know what goes into planning. I want to commend you, all the organizers, participants, for working so hard to bring us together to deliberate these issues. Ladies and gentlemen, in today's interconnected world, digital right and inclusion are not merely abstract concepts, but essential pillars of our democratic societies and development. They underpin our ability to access information, engage in civic discourse, and participate in economic activities. However, it is also imperative to acknowledge that significant disparities persist globally, threatening exhausting inequalities that we are all working to resolve. According to the 2023 ITU Internet Report, Internet penetration has been on the rise globally. I think across board, we've seen increase in connectivity, with estimated 4.9 billion people, representing about 63% of the world's population, having access to the internet. However, disparities in the internet access persist, particularly in the global south and also the underserved communities, where access to affordable and reliable internet remains very limited. This can be seen in the case of Ghana as well. Analysis conducted by Kepios, producer of the world's most widely read report on digital trends, established that internet users in Ghana increased by 450,000, about close to 2% between January 2023 to January 2024. This represents a significant leap for us as far as our digital development in country is concerned. While this progress is commendable, we must remain vigilant in addressing the digital divide that persists, particularly on served and underserved communities. Governments have a role to play in fostering digital inclusion among citizens. In Ghana, as of February this year, the government has made strides to expand digital infrastructure and connectivity by constructing more than 1,000 new rural telephony sites in rural areas across the country. This is to expand network coverage and internet access among the population. This project was implemented under the leadership of the Ministry for Communications and Digitalization. Again, although this represents considerable progress, it is also an indication that more needs to be done to bridge the digital divide and ensure that all Ghanaians have equal access to opportunities presented by the digital age. Distinguished guests, these statistics underscore the importance of our discussion here today. As we strive to build a more inclusive digital society, it is essential that we address the barriers that hinder access to the internet and ensure they are adequately removed to uphold digital rights of our citizens. In an emerging digitally driven economy, ladies and gentlemen, digital rights has now firmly become a human right, and we ought to appreciate that and work to enforce that. A key pillar of our digital inclusion is guaranteeing that internet access is affordable and accessible to all segments of the society. In Ghana, initiatives such as the National Broadband Infrastructure Project, the Girls in ICT program, the Free Wi-Fi for Senior High Schools program have helped to expand access to the internet in underserved communities and break the digital divide. However, ladies and gentlemen, it is crucial to understand that digital inclusion is not just about the access to the internet, but also about ensuring that all individuals have skills and knowledge to fully participate in the digital economy. This requires investing in digital literacy and education initiatives to empower citizens with skills they need to navigate the digital landscape and take advantage of the opportunities presented by the internet. In Ghana today, access to digital services such as the e-government platforms, internet banking, and online education has expanded, with majority of the population utilizing such services. The disparities in access, however, remain disproportionate. That's affecting the marginalized groups and further worsening the socioeconomic divide. The government acknowledges the revolutionary potential of the digital space to propel socioeconomic advancement, enhance the quality of life for Ghanaians. It is for this reason that a massive digitalization campaign dubbed the Digital Ghana Agenda was launched in 2017. This government initiative aimed at encouraging the usage of technology to empower the people and promote inclusive progress. Ladies and gentlemen, the digitization of economies has been a transformative process that has led to numerous benefits which we have in turn enjoyed and contributed significantly to our socioeconomic development. Unfortunately, as technology advances, so do threats persists, making it imperative for state and non-state actors to build the relevant skills, knowledge, infrastructure needed to safeguard our digital assets. Investment, information, and communication technologies, other digital initiatives, so that we can protect the citizens as well. Protecting citizens, however, individuals, businesses, and critical information are key in cybersecurity development as part of our response to the threat that emerge from this digital development. Internet governance and regulation continue to be a hot topic as well, with debate over issues such as net neutrality, data privacy, online censorship, and of course, cybersecurity. Countries have varying approaches to regulating the internet, leading to a complex global landscape of laws and policies. Emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and Internet of Things are also reshaping the internet landscape, offering new possibilities for innovation and connectivity and introducing new challenges related to privacy, security, and ethical concerns. I do believe this development are likely to dominate our discussions here, the new and emerging technologies and how they impact what we've been promoting here, digital inclusion. Overall, the state of global internet connectivity is one of rapid expansion and transformation driven by technological advancements, increasing demand for connectivity, and evolving regulatory frameworks. Whilst progress has been made in expanding access to the internet, there is still much work to be done to ensure that everyone, regardless of their location or socioeconomic status, can fully benefit from opportunities provided by the digital age. In this regard, multi-stakeholder approach is recommended to facilitate inclusivity and to ensure that internet development serves mankind irrespective of economic status, social status, geographical location, gender, and most importantly, also serve the interests of the vulnerable. This distinguished guest must be a collective concern, making this event an important one. Through DRIF 24 program, experts of the industry can share ideas and build capacity towards achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the African Union Agenda 2063, and the Declaration for the Future of the Internet. Your participation here today is a testament to our collective commitment to forging the best pathway towards a future underpinned by effective, sustainable, and inclusive global cooperation for safeguarding our digital world and right we hold in it. As we look to the future, it's imperative that we confront challenges head-on and chart a course towards a more inclusive digital society. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, let us reaffirm our commitment to fostering digital right and inclusion by striving to build a digital future where the rights of all individuals are respected, where diversity is celebrated, and where everyone can participate fully in the digital economy and the society. I salute the civil society voices across the globe, especially in the global south, for leading this charge. I thank you once again for coming to Ghana, and I wish you fruitful deliberations. I thank you. Right.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Intri Bosiako. Who's had a chance to try some Ghana jollof? What do we think? Fellow Ghanaians, it's not looking good. He said it was all right, decent. It'll do. All right, well, coming up onto the stage next, we have Commissioner Garisha Topsy Sono. She is the Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Expression and Access to Information with the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. She'll be giving us some few words as well, so please welcome her up onto the stage with a warm welcome.
So, good morning, everyone. As the MC has just stated, I am a commissioner at the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, and I'm also the Special Rapporteur for Freedom of Expression and Access to Information. I would wish to thank DRIF and Paradigm Initiative for convening this forum this year. It gives me enormous pleasure to join in the 2024 edition of DRIF, a platform that contributes to discourse on digital rights and inclusion on the continent. The emergence of digital technologies and their impact on human and people's rights remains one of the least prioritized conversations on the continent at governance level. Decision-making bodies usually mainly focus on the prospect of economic value, but relegate the question of human rights and inclusion to the footnotes of these discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, it is reassuring to see that civil society, academia, and all the key stakeholders represented here are playing a significant role to balance out human rights imperatives with the inevitable transformation towards a digital world. I urge you all to shift this conversation to the mainstream, to leave the policymakers and decision-making bodies with no option than to center human rights and inclusion when legislating or regulating digital transformation. I am also in the same vein pleased to note that there is a Ghanaian lawmaker amongst us today. I applaud him for joining in on these discussions and implore him to take back these issues to his colleagues. I also humbly ask the organizers of DRIF and Paradigm Initiative to try to ensure that next year we have ICT and information ministers, information regulators, data protection agencies, and other stakeholders represented at the next DRIF forum. What we discuss here is not only relevant to the extent that it gets to the ears that matter and agendas that are relevant. As you are all aware, digital transformation is currently taking center stage at the AU level, with many initiatives surrounding regulation and policy making. These include the implementation of the AU Digital Transformation Plan, the implementation of the AU Data Protection Framework, the drafting of the AU Conceptual Framework on the Continental Strategy for AI, the initiatives of the Office of the Legal Counsel on the application of international law to cyberspace, amongst others. It is important that you let your voices be heard by the African Union to ensure that human rights and inclusion remain at the center of the agenda. I cannot emphasize how important it is for you to aggressively engage with the Special Technical Committee on Science and Technologies, the STC on ICTs, the AU Department of Energy and Infrastructure, and the AU NEPAD High-Level Panel on Emerging Technologies, and the AU Working Group on AI. It's important to call for transparency and civil participation in all initiatives conducted at these different platforms. Importantly, it is exceedingly crucial to engage your ambassadors at the Permanent Representatives Committee in Addis so that they are the primary decision makers on the work that happens at the African Union. At the level of the African Commission, as I always say, my doors are always open, time and resources permitting. My team and I remain committed to deliver on your expectations as we pursue the common goal of digital rights and inclusion. While we may often be at the receiving end of some criticism, more often than not, these are not justified. Because I can tell you that we need the support of everyone to get the work doing at the Commission. The budget of a special mechanism of freedom of expression and access to information for the last 2 years has been very low, far less than what most organizations spend for a single event. Thirdly, the special mechanism is staffed by only 2 technical officers who themselves are incredibly inundated with work. Yet, despite all these challenges, through our special partnerships and your tireless advocacy, in the last quarter alone, we were able to achieve the adoption of 2 special soft law instruments on digital rights and inclusion. These comprise the resolutions on surveillance, internet shutdowns, as well as an assignment by the Commission to assess the level of implementation of the soft laws of a special mechanism. As, ladies and gentlemen, our work is shaped by the discussions and output of brilliant platforms like these. I want to repeat, we require your data, your research, your ideas, your work plan, and invitations like these to collaborate. Our collaboration should transcend public relations. It must be real and results-driven. Let me reiterate once again that the Commission and more specifically the special mechanism remains committed to work hand in hand with all of you to protect and promote digital rights and inclusion in Africa. I'm happy to be here today, and I am very excited to follow the rich and diverse discussions that are on the program agenda. I remain at your disposal for any assistance that you may require. I wish you all a very successful Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Garisha. Another round of applause, please. All right, so up next we have a little display from the Great Africa Heritage Dance Ensemble. You've already had a bit of a taste of what they have to offer this morning, but they're coming up next with something truly wonderful for us all. So please, another round of applause as they take the stage.
Open the door. She's not here. Open the door.
Hey, ASG, open the door.
Access denied. Voice unrecognized.
What is that? Don't you have a key?
What's wrong with this machine?
Please hurry up. I need to leave here before your mother or brother come see me here.
Exercise patience, eh? I'm trying to work on it. What's wrong with this machine?
Are you not supposed to be the tech guru?
See, exercise patience for me.
Do
This is not like
something.
web creation or app development. I beg you, take your time for me and let me try and work this thing out. I don't know why this thing is messing up today.
Pass. Hey, Nana, don't you have a key?
I said you exercise patience for me. Why are you talking plenty?
Go ahead and open the door.
You see,
Do I want to know? Yeah, all the best. ASG, open the door.
Access denied. Voice not recognized.
Tonight? What? It's me. Eva. What, is that why you guys are stuck here?
no, that is the reason why we are sleeping here.
It's too
We
early.
want to go.
It's too early. ASG, open the
Access denied. Voice not recognized.
phone. This can-
Unrecognized. That's right. One more entry and lockdown will be fully.
You guys tried. Oh, no. This cannot be happening. No. Oh,
What
God.
is this?
No.
You people, what does lockdown initiation mean?
See, are you that simple? See, another wrong entry, and then the house will be on lockdown. You are saying,
I can't leave. I can't leave.
So exercise patience, we'll work on it.
Please hurry up. Hurry up.
No.
What is happening?
Bye.
Wait, I don't know what's going on. Oh, my God. Somebody's deducting money from my bank account.
Why? Did you give your PIN to someone?
Am I dumb? No.
Or maybe you shared your ATM card with someone.
No, it's always in my purse, la. I don't know what is going on.
Please, people, let's just open this door. I want to leave.
So what would you have us do, young lady?
I don't care. Kwame, it is your house. Just open the door. My life is literally on the line here.
I have told you to exercise patience. So why are you talking plenty?
I don't care. Just open the damn door.
Mommy, open it. All you have to do is say, "Hey, SG, open the door," and you'll be out of here already. No, 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 it's not you. I was just. Oh God, oh God, oh God. You see, this is your fault.
What did I do? What did I do? Don't tell me that. Don't stop shifting blame.
What's going on here? And why is that stupid thing making noise?
Try to open the door 3 times.
Hey, technology. Oh, technology.
Lockdown fully initiated.
Maybe. Wait. Maybe the lockdown is only in the living room. Maybe your bedroom windows or something. The back door.
Miss, who are you? Who is she? And what's she doing in my house by this time? To begin with, why does she know about our back door or anything in the house? Why is she here in the first place?
It's not you.
I'm
She's
his
my
girlfriend.
client. She's my girl client.
A client in my house at 6 a.m.
It was an emergency.
What kind of emergency is that?
It had to do with my...
Oh, shut up already, Kwame. Didn't you tell me that I should tell anybody who asks me that I am your girlfriend? Now what? Men. Ma, I'm sorry. My name is Sophie. Kwame brought me here last night. Kwame, should I tell your mother why you brought me here?
Sophie,
Tell
really?
her.
Really what? Come and answer, oh. Tell your mother before. Where are you going to?
Sophie, sorry. Calm down,
Ma.
okay? Everything will be all right. I'm sure a retailer would have been elected by now, and he will come and open it for us. He has the main code, okay? Just calm down, okay? Sit down. You, come here. Call Mr. G for me.
My I don't have it number. It's on your phone. Where's your phone?
I misplaced it somewhere here yesterday.
No, let me just call him. I'll call him.
Kwame, you look worried, my son. What's wrong?
Matt, think
And
calls
who-
like that all the time and
See,
come back with
see, you should worry about yourself, oh. Don't you have a bank issue to be worried about?
What bank issue?
someone has been deducting money from my bank app. And I don't know what to do.
So now you put your money on an app, right? On an app. You are very stupid.
Please go.
An app created by people. What if it disappear and run away with your money? You children of nowadays, you think you are wise. Eh?
Ma, it's not like that. The money is in the bank, right? The app just, what is this something? The app just makes life better. It makes it easier, that's all.
But anybody can have access to it at any time, right?
Yes, it makes it easier.
You are very stupid. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what happened to printing and signing in before you can have access to your money. Well, they know that. How would they know you are the one using, trying to transact money out?
The code has moved past all of those things they are talking about.
Oh, sir. So I heard. Sophie, what's wrong?
Ma.
15 minutes of inactivity.
Look, the internet is down. Nothing is working.
Why do you people treat it as is God? Eh? This internet gone are those days. We used to use it. We used to survive
You
without
see,
internet.
Ma,
oh.
you don't understand.
Eh?
We need the internet to access everything.
Explain.
You
I'm
get it?
listening, eh?
I always need internet so that I can keep my app running. Without internet, I don't know what I'm going to do.
I can't even buy data. Try on your phone.
So I can't find it.
How long did Mr. G said he's going to get here?
He said he's coming soon.
Oh, goodness.
Kwame, can you people still stop my thing?
See, nobody cares about your thing, oh. It is just news. Eh? Everyone has seen some before. It is not your own which will make news. Eh? Nobody cares about your news. There's a life and death issue over here.
What's life and death issue?
Worrying me with news.
Kwame, start talking. What's life and death issue?
So you, Kwame, after taking advantage of me, you now stand here and say nobody cares, Kwame? After bringing me here last night and doing all that you did to me, you stand here and say nobody cares. After inserting your...
Hey, it's okay. Enough. Where are my children? What happened to them? Where are my children? Kwame, start talking. You were insecting what? In my house.
She brought a pencil yesterday and she said I should insert it into the sharpener for her.
She doesn't have pencil in the house, so you were sharpening for her.
I was inserting the pencil into the sharpener.
And you were insecting.
I was inserting it into the sharpener.
I'm dead. Hey, don't go, come. Take the call here. I want to hear. Who's calling?
But ma...
Answer it and put on loudspeaker.
Hello?
Mr. Kwame, your time is almost up.
Please exercise patience for me. I'm trying to work on it, but then the internet is messing up.
Don't
Please.
play games with me, boy.
I beg you. I beg you, boss.
Stop begging. This is business, not a charity organization. Were you begging your app users when you're spying on them and using their information for your own benefit? You have less than an hour. Get me what I want.
Really? Hey, Kwame.
You just...
What does it mean by that?
Wait. So you've been spying on your app users. I mean, my video was in my draft. You must have seen it, Kwame. Are you the one, Kwame, wait. Are you the one threatening to expose my nudes?
Wait. Aside your spying on people on your app, you have access to their phones. You have access to their pins and passwords.
I have access to their contact messages, passwords, and pins. It's a small clause in the terms and conditions.
Nobody reads terms and conditions.
But then that is the reason why it is there.
Oh God. Wait. So that means that you have access. Come here, you share my pin or password with anybody. The money is not for me, so my company. Come here, say something last.
Stop. Kwame, I don't know what they are talking about. Start talking. Hurry up. Who called you and what does he want?
He wants information.
What information?
He wants information on some big people's details. He wants the information so that he can blackmail them and take money from them.
And what does he have against you?
Well, he found out about my backdoor business of spying on people. And then when he found out about that, he threatened me that he was going to report me to the press. I'm trying to outsmart him by launching a virus so that I'll be able to crash the system so that he wouldn't have access to.
Hey,
No
boy.
one is calling you.
You think you can outsmart me, eh?
Hey, what is happening?
What's going on? How?
I don't know. How is he talking?
How is it talking?
How are you listening to our conversation?
I am here with you. Right here in this room. Look.
my God.
ASG, how many minutes left for lockdown? 30 minutes, boss. ASG,
Is he the one that locked us out?
increase lockdown to 24 hours.
Mr. Man, what do you want from my son?
No.
To 24 hours.
Oh, no.
This has nothing to do with my family.
Mr. Man, what do you want from my son? What do you want?
Who is this? A voice cannot be recognized in my database.
It is my...
Hey, shut up. I said, what do you want? Mr. Kola.
Oh, wait. Mommy is not online. That's why he doesn't know a voice. He's not online.
What kind of country is he from? Everyone is online, oh.
Oh, God, no. So, what do we do? So, wait.
Ask him again.
Wait.
Mr. Kola, I'm asking for the last time. What do you want from my son?
Yes.
Yes,
What do you want from
Yes, hang up.
Wait. This is very ridiculous. If he has access to everything in this house, why then does he ask me for the information he seeks?
Maybe he doesn't have everything yet, and he needs you to provide it.
Yes. Maybe he still needs you to give it to him.
Oh my God. He might not have gotten past the firewall. I need to launch this virus so that I'll be able to crash the ASG.
Oh, God, no. What do we do?
What can we do to override this
Ma.
system?
System overheat.
Wait.
The door is open. My new door!
I wonder what my mother would have said if she had heard this story. That I told you so. Your husband built this house to trap you here forever. This technology of a thing is very evil. But sure, it's getting more complicated as it used to be many years ago.
However, we cannot deny the unprecedented levels of comfort, sophistication, and enlightenment that technology has brought into our lives. And just like every living thing, it grows and advances, sometimes beyond our wildest imaginations.
But then there is nothing we can do to prevent these advancements. So as society advances, so must laws and policies that governs it.
Nobody should lose their rights, privileges, and life because of an advancement which is beneficial to us all. After all,
Technology
was
is meant to
made
make life better.
Thank
Lockdown
Thank you.
fully initiated.
We're going to carry on with the opening ceremony of the conference with some insightful conversations right about now. They'll be taking place on the stage with myself. And the first speaker up is Benga Sesan. He's the Executive Director, Paradigm Initiative, speaking to us about the DRIF journey and the future. So please, another round of applause for Benga.
Lockdown reversed. Yemamo Accra Baba DRIF 2024. Well, that was me saying welcome to DRIF 2024. I'm sure some of the Ghanaians in the room were judging the accent, but it's fine. And I will not talk about jollof rice, because that is not the topic of discussion. But I want to very quickly take us through the journey, how we got here and where we are going from here. 11 years ago, in 2013, the Nigerian government and many other governments were doing something that we, in civil society, considered quite concerning: investment in surveillance technologies without enabling laws, without any guardians. And so in 2013, August, a few of us gathered in Abuja, Nigeria, and we were just concerned about what is going on in this country. What can we do about it? Later in the year, in December, we met again in Lagos. And after that, in 2014, we decided that it was time to ask a few of our friends in other countries, are you seeing the same things that we're seeing? And we realized that there were similar things, because in 2012, there had been a lot of protests across the continent. Many of us remember Yenamare, Sasofi, Occupy Nigeria, and all that. So there was reaction to citizens expressing their concerns. 2016, in 2014, we had started talking about what we call the Internet Freedom Declaration for Nigeria. And the idea was for the few of us who were in the room to have this conversation and to then take action. Immediately we left the place. And that's the reason why when you hear the introduction of DRIF, what you will hear is that it is a platform for action. We will have conversations about fostering digital rights. We'll have conversations about our various sub-themes, but the core issue that we believe will be the outcome is the action we can take. Because right in this room, there are actors, there are people who have been working on some of the concerns that you have. In fact, chances are that the person to your left or the person to your right actually are as concerned about some of the issues that you think you're most concerned about. And that is why the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum happens. In 2016, we decided it was time to open the door to other countries to participate because the issues were similar. And thankfully, the conversation went in that direction. We got updates from the Gambia, and if any of you know what was happening in the Gambia in 2016, you will understand that we saw that issues around internet shutdowns, which thankfully, the Special Rapporteur had mentioned the new instrument that we can now use for advocacy. And by 2017, it was still called, at a time, not the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum, it was called the Internet Freedom Forum. 2018 was the year we decided that, well, since the issues are not just from Nigeria and in Nigeria and just a few of the countries that were in the room, we will expand the conversation a bit to include not just digital rights, but also digital inclusion. And so the Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum started in 2019, DRIF 2019. And we then decided that it was time to have one more meeting in Nigeria and then begin to move DRIF to other countries. And then we planned DRIF 2020. It was supposed to hold April 23, 2020. And many of you remember what happened in 2020. In March, the lockdown was initiated. So we first announced that DRIF 2020 was postponed because we believed it was going to be maybe, hopefully short-lived, but it wasn't short at all. And of course, that meant, that was the 2013, this was 2014, the Internet Freedom Forum. We skipped 2015 because we were looking for resources to host DRIF, to host the IFF at the time, and we couldn't find it. So we decided to plan for the next year. And by 2019, we started Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum. And by 2020, when we tried to host and COVID said no, we decided in 2021 to take a different approach. This was in 2016, Ghana, Senegal, Cameroon, all the different countries, Kenya. And I remember this moment in 2016, and we continued in 2017, 2018, 2019. This was the plan for 2020 before it was at first postponed, then eventually canceled. And in 2021, we decided that we wouldn't wait just for everything to become perfect. So we decided to move this into the virtual environment. And we had a hybrid forum because we couldn't organize a meeting like this. We could only have, I think, up to 20 people in the room at a time. So in 12 African countries, we had different conversations. And in 2022, we expanded that a bit to 17 African countries. In 2023, many of you were with us in Nairobi when we hosted DRIF 23. And here we are in 2024. I have a simple question and I have a prize. Where will DRIF 2025 hold? The first correct answer takes my job, not my salary, the work. Congo, Malawi, South Africa, Senegal, Ivory Coast, Benin, Rwanda, Nairobi. Why do you want to go? Zimbabwe, Namibia, Angola, Zambia. Nobody wants my job. Okay. It's understandable because I'm keeping the salary. But beyond that, beyond DRIF 2025, what we've decided to do, and we said this in Nairobi, is that this is no longer a conversation amongst us as Africans. This is a conversation amongst various stakeholders in the global majority world, in the global south. And one of the things that the group asked me to, my team asked me to talk about was what is the future of DRIF. So if initiation of lockdown does not happen, oh, I see, I need to be like that woman that is not online and take this above. Is that the reason? So in the spirit of what the future will look like, I asked an AI tool what DRIF 2063 will look like. This is still 2024. Let's fast forward to maybe I should beat it. So I asked an AI tool what DRIF 2063 will look like. And it gave me a picture that I am not sharing with you. And then I said to it, DRIF 63 for the Global South. And then the picture became a bit more relatable. There is a message in that. All of the conversations we're having at DRIF are global conversations. But the onus rests on us as active participants in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, to make sure that global conversations are not just global because people in the room are from different countries, but they are global because they are relevant to the issues we experience. They're global because we understand what we want and the conversations we need to have, the partnerships we need to form, and of course, at the end of the day, to make sure that action is focused on our needs. Human rights in the digital age, digital inclusion. And with that, I trust that as we continue with DRIF 24, you can forget 63 for now. I have a very funny feeling that I may not be attending DRIF 2063. I probably will be retired by then, holidaying somewhere, and I'll, maybe my hologram will join the meeting. But until then, for DRIF 2024, I want to say a very big thank you, not just to our partners, not just to the board, not just to the fantastic, amazing, awesome Paradigm Initiative team. Please put your hands together. But to everyone in the room and everyone online, to say thank you. In the next 3 days, the conversations we will have, the networks that we will form, and the action that will follow immediately will determine where the Global South will be in 2063, and it will be where we want it to be because we know there are things that we do not agree with, but we will take action and we will forge partnerships to get where we want to be. Thank you and welcome to DRIF 2024.
Thank you so much for that, Benga. I want to guess where DRIF will be happening next year, but I don't want just the job. I need the salary as well, but I'll see you in chambers when this is done. Thanks again, Benga. Another round of applause, please, for Benga. Up next, we have coming onto the stage, Vinay Nayaran. He's the Senior Manager at APTI, and we'll be speaking about the state of digital rights and inclusion in the Global South. So if you're ready, Vinay, let's take the stage. How are you finding Accra?
It's quite beautiful.
Yes.
I've been here since Saturday. I've had a chance to have some fufu.
Oh.
Haven't had some red yet, which I'm really looking forward to.
Uh-huh.
I've tried both Nigerian and Ghanaian jollof rice.
Ooh, Vinay. You know what's coming next.
I'm not starting a war here, so they're both really good.
Boo. In any case, good to see you,
Thank you so much.
this morning. And as the introduction, when we want to know about the state of affairs in the Global South, so do speak to us about what's going on in that domain.
Thank you. We had a meeting yesterday as well as part of the Global South Alliance with the Paradigm Initiative and our colleagues from Data Privacy Brazil as well. And I think the one thing that we see very commonly in discourses around digital rights and digital regulation more broadly is that there's a tendency to say there's three major approaches: the approach of the EU, the approach of the US, and the approach of China, right? And the EU being the most related to or centered around the rights of individuals. The GDPR is then held as a gold standard. And what we're now seeing in most Global South countries is that countries are looking to just adopt this framework, either directly, word for word, which we've seen in some countries, or in spirit. And I think that's quite sad because it really ignores the context of our countries. We talk about the Global South as a bloc, and while there are a lot of shared commonalities, we also have a lot of diversity, a lot of very specific contexts that need addressing in these regulations. And I think that's completely missed out when you just adopt a law without really much foresight or thought. The other thing that we also see is that the GDPR is such an individual-based, individual-framed legislation or framework, and we've seen that it's not really working at all to uphold people's rights. What we need is collective rights, collective action. And in the Global South, we've had a very, very rich history of that. I was talking to my colleague, Rafael Zanata, who's here somewhere, and he was talking about, the fantastic history in Brazil on collective rights, especially for environmental protection. I was just looking this up, but the African Charter on Human and People's Rights was the first one globally to recognize the right to development.
I see.
And very interestingly, it was not just for individuals, but for groups as well. And I think we really need to pull on this in building our digital rights frameworks.
Fantastic. I know there's more to come from you, Vinay, but just very quickly in a minute or so, when you talk about collective rights, paint a picture for us. What are you talking about?
So I think, it's a very, this is a sort of go-to example for me, and I think, the small skit we saw earlier also spoke to it, right? All of us agree to terms and conditions, most often blindly. And there's a digital profile that's built of all of us, right? And the way things usually work is that we're all put into buckets. Male, female, Indian, Ghanaian, African, belonging to different age groups. And so even if I, as an individual, disagree completely, for anything, there's so many people who, I fit into these small groups. I'm an Indian, I'm a male, and there's insights about that. Insights that I didn't agree for them to have about me. Right? But there's the need for collective rights, therefore, for people to have that ability to really, as a community, as a collective, have a say about their rights and how their data is used for or against them.
Fantastic. Vinay, thank you so much for that. A round of applause for Vinay. And we'll welcome up onto the stage our next speaker, Dr. Millicent Agangiba, Executive Director, Inclusive Tech Group. Doc, if you're here, oh, she is. Round of applause, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I'm not going to ask what's the better jollof, Nigeria or Ghana, because we know it's Ghana all the way. But Doc, good to see you. Good morning again. And we want to talk very briefly about the importance of digital inclusion in leaving no one behind.
Okay, so digital inclusion, it's a very, very big issue. And we will put in more concerted effort when we understand how important it is, right? There are so many hindrances for people not being able to belong in the digital space, but the benefits are enormous, and so we need to try to. For example, when people are more included in the digital space, we know today we are running electronic government, we are running digital firms and businesses and so on and so forth. So if somebody is not able to have access, for example, to internet, what does it mean? The person most likely will not be able to get the same opportunity to apply for job.
That's right.
Education, I'm a lecturer as well. We just go and research. Where are you researching from in the first place? So we need to make a conscious effort. I usually will call it the A's. Like some people say 3 A's or 5 A's. We need to make sure we have access, for example. And access, we mean internet access, access to electricity, like we know, it's very important on the African continent. If we look at internet issue, I think some statistics were made by Dr. Buesiako. On the African continent, more than half do not have access to internet. And so when we are talking about digital inclusion in an era when we are driving digital transformation, you realize that definitely we're leaving a lot of people behind. They will be affected in terms of quality of healthcare, for example, because we know that these days, some even drugs, if you don't do pharmacy at your doorstep, you're not able to get them. You can search everywhere. Meanwhile, in your convenience, you could have been able to access it if the portal is accessible and then you have access to internet as well. Then the issue also becomes being empowered and being able to get involved in the space that we are now. Your voice should be heard. How will your voice get heard when you do not have access? Affordability is also another problem. Sometimes it might be available, but you can't afford it. You cannot pay the cost of data, you cannot pay, say, electricity, and so on and so forth. So the benefits are there, but there are a whole lot of hindrances why people are not able to enjoy it. But I think that as people, we need to put in collective efforts. And when we talk about digital inclusion, we try to make sure we bring everyone on board, irrespective of their location, irrespective of their abilities. We make sure that people are able to take part, be involved fully in the digital space, because it's only when people are able to adopt and adapt technologies and they can harness the full benefits of technology.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Doc. And that's what you mean by leaving no one behind. Thank you. Round of applause, please. And finally, coming up onto the stage, we have Efia Asantwa Asariche, Oversight Board Member, and we'll be unpacking meaningful content moderation. So please, Efia, if you're here, and she is, a round of applause, please, as she takes the stage. Good morning. How are we doing this morning? I'm doing all right. I'm doing fantastic. So as I mentioned, we want to talk about the importance, unpacking meaningful content moderation. What are we talking about here?
Well, thank you very much to the organizers of Digital Rights and Inclusion Forum for inviting me here to speak at this very important event in the digital space in the Global South. I am Efia Asantwa Asariche. I'm a human rights lawyer. I'm a development professional, and I'm also a member of the Oversight Board for Meta. The board has been working over the last 3 years or so, and I believe it's especially important for me to raise a bit of an awareness about the work of the board and how civil society groups, especially the African civil society groups, can work with the board. So if you allow me just a minute to briefly explain. So the Oversight Board is a deliberative body, it's an independent body comprised of experts from around the world that makes binding decisions on what content should be removed or should stay on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. So on these 3 platforms, the board is telling Meta what you should allow on these platforms. Our decisions are, of course, based on whether Meta's content enforcement is consistent with its own values, policies, but as well as human rights commitments. We're set up to give viewers or users more an opportunity to appeal content moderation decisions that are made by the company to address some of the most significant as well as difficult issues that Meta itself is facing. The board also makes what we call policy recommendations rooted in freedom of expression, as well as human rights principles, and address issues around transparency, accountability of the company, of these platforms and digital companies. Now, I'll speak briefly. A lot has been said about this year being an extraordinary year for democracy. So 2024 is supposedly the biggest year for elections in world history, where half of the world's population is heading to the polls. We have the biggest, democracy, India, that went to the polls. They started, I believe, on Friday, and it's going to run for 7 weeks because there is estimated almost 1 billion people heading to the polls. So for us, electoral integrity is very significant to us because this is the future of democracy, of human rights, of open societies that is at stake. So what we've been doing as a board is working on electoral integrity. It's one of our strategic objectives, actually. And what we are doing is saying that we are concerned, of course, about generative AI. We heard about the little skit, what we call deep fakes, disinformation, voter manipulation. And so what we've been doing is, when it comes to content moderation, the core problems that we are facing, of course, are not new. But the board is saying social media platforms should learn lessons from the past and take responsible steps to addressing what constitute, permissible political speech, how to treat content by influencers, how do we ensure algorithms are not fueling toxic online environment. And this should be done, ahead, during, and after elections. The board has been taking steps. We have recently had cases from Brazil to Cambodia to Pakistan to the United States. We recently published a very interesting decision that got a positive response from Meta about implementing recommendations regarding manipulated media. Like I mentioned, elections. We are going to have some. Ghana is heading to elections in December. South Africa, a very important democracy on the continent, is going to the polls next month. We had elections in Dakar, where I live, last month. And it's important that, some of these cases around elections is taken very seriously. Now, on this specific case I want to mention, it involved a video, and I think a lot of people in this room would have seen it. It involved a short video of President Biden putting "I voted" sticker on his granddaughters, just up here, pinning. In the US, after you vote, you get a sticker saying you voted. And somebody made it look as if he was actually fondling his, granddaughter. So manipulation of video, and he didn't even use AI. It was simple manipulation of this piece, and it was put online, and basically saying, look at this, you can't vote for this man because he's a pedophile, because he's doing this. So the board is saying, look, a lot of manipulation happens online, a lot of electoral misinformation, disinformation, what we call cheap or deep fake is happening, and we need to be attentive to that. We've also been working, to improve a number of policies by Meta. But I think to answer your question, a very simple response to your question is meaningful content moderation should involve the people who are most impacted by inconsistent policy enforcement by Meta or other social media platform. And the board is here to help and push Meta, hopefully other platforms as well, in a better direction. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity that I have this week to be here with so many groups that are doing this work, to learn from them. And as well, hopefully we can talk about challenges and solutions that we can work on it together. So meaningful content moderation really is the platforms really sticking to their own policies, values, human rights commitments, as well as having content moderators that are attuned, alert to context. I think Vinay mentioned, context is very, very important.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Ify. Another round of applause, please. You're going to have a very busy year. I didn't realize almost half of the world is heading to the polls this year. Better stock up on some Ghana jollof. Much needed energy for all of that. But we'll bring this portion of the opening ceremony to a close. I know a number of us haven't had a chance to be fully registered, so you're able to do so before you break away into your groups. And boy, you'll be telling us where we can go as we break off into our groups. But what an energetic start to DRIF 2024. A round of applause for yourselves. You've been great this morning. Thank you so much for lending us your eyes and your ears. Again, my name is Helen Apia Ampofo, and I've been your MC for this opening ceremony. I'm going to be stocking up on Ghana jollof, much needed energy for the day. But again, thank you.